You helped your cousin start his business. You covered your friend's rent when he lost his job. You paid for the family dinner. Again. And somehow, you're the one who's always broke. Seneca, the richest philosopher in Rome, wrote about this exact pattern almost 2,000 years ago. He wasn't against helping people. He was one of the most generous men in the empire. But he discovered a brutal truth. There's a way of helping that builds you up, and a way of helping that quietly destroys you. Today, I'm breaking down exactly where that line is, and which side of it you're standing on. Stay till the end, because point 4 will change how you help people forever. The Giver's Trap. Seneca wrote a whole book called On Benefits, about the act of giving and helping. And his first warning was this: most people give without ever asking themselves why they're giving. Are you helping because you genuinely want to, or because you're afraid of how it looks if you say no? He wrote, "It is not the size of the gift that matters, but the spirit in which it is given." Here's the trap. When you give out of guilt, obligation, or fear of judgment, you're not actually being generous. You're paying an emotional tax to avoid discomfort. And that kind of giving never stops costing you, because the guilt doesn't go away. It just finds a new reason to ask for more. You can't help from an empty house. Here's something Seneca understood that most people miss today. He said real generosity requires real resources. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Picture two people. One has saved and built stability, and gives from that surplus. The other gives from money they don't actually have to spare, covering someone else's emergency while creating their own. Seneca would say only the first person is being truly generous. The second person isn't generosity, it's self-sabotage wearing a generous costume. If helping others consistently leaves your finances unstable, that's not virtue. Seneca would call that poor stewardship of what you've been given to manage.
The people who never stop asking. Seneca wrote that some people don't see your help as a gift. They see it as proof that more is available. He said, "He who receives a benefit with gratitude repays the first installment of it," meaning gratitude is supposed to be part of the exchange. But notice the people in your life who help you one time, say thank you, and the asking stops. Now notice the people who help you once, and then start expecting it. Seneca's warning is this: when you help someone who has no gratitude and no intention of ever being self-sufficient, you're not lifting them. You're financing their dependency. And the cruelest part? It feels generous while it's quietly draining you. The rescue that removes the lesson. This is the point that changes everything. Point 4. Seneca believes struggle has a purpose. He wrote extensively about how difficulty builds strength and character. That's the entire foundation of Stoic philosophy. So here's the brutal truth. Every time you rescue someone from a consequence they created themselves, you're not just spending your money, you're removing their lesson. The friend who overspends every month and you cover the gap, they never learn to budget because you've removed the discomfort that would have taught them. Seneca wasn't cold-hearted. He cared deeply about people's growth, but he understood something most of us avoid admitting. Sometimes the most generous thing you can do is let someone feel the weight of their own choices. Give to build, not to rescue. So what did Seneca actually recommend? Because again, he was not against generosity. He gave away huge amounts of his own wealth throughout his life. The difference he taught was this: give in ways that build capability, not dependency. Teaching someone a skill, helping someone get an opportunity, investing in someone's growth. That's different from repeatedly covering the same person's same mistake with no change in behavior. Seneca wrote, "We should give as we would receive, cheerfully, quickly, and without hesitation." But notice, he never said give endlessly, give blindly, or give to the same hole forever. Generosity, to Seneca, was a tool for growth, not a permanent subsidy for poor decisions. So why does helping others make you poor? Not because helping is wrong. Because helping without boundaries, without asking why you're giving, without protecting your own stability, without expecting growth from the other person, turns generosity into a leak. Seneca's brutal truth is this: you cannot save everyone, and trying to will only sink you both. Real generosity has limits. Real love sometimes says no. If this made you rethink a relationship in your life, let me know in the comments. Who comes to mind? Subscribe for more Stoic truths on money, power, and human nature. Stay wise.